here's why most people lose significant amounts of money buying naked options. And when I say buying naked options, I mean just buying a call or a put with nothing else. No other legs, whether it be more options or the spot underlying equity, or of course futures as well. This is typically what beginners gravitate towards, and it is a massive, massive pitfall, which I've seen most people lose significant amounts of money doing exactly this. Now, if you're wondering what this video is, or you're just randomly finding it, it is a part of a Options 101 Fundamental playlist here on YouTube. And if you're interested in such content, I don't know, consider like, subscribing, because there will be more videos alongside this. And I should probably also explain very briefly who I am, where I come from, why this might be of interest. And if you're interested in options, well, that was my former love. That was my first love, if you will. That's essentially where I spent the beginning of my adult life as a professional. I was a professional market maker, authorized trader in equity options on New York Stock Exchange ARCA. Then later on, I kind of transitioned, drifted into the crypto world, and I've been trading as a retail pleb ever since. But I believe that prior experience does give me a unique stance on this, and that is what I hope to impart in you on this particular slideshow here. And if I do my job properly on this one, I think you'll understand, one, the saying, options were created to be sold, which I strongly believe, and two, if I've done my job properly, you will be vehemently typing in the comment section after this video saying, Crown, we fucking get it. Okay, I'm not going to buy options naked. I'm going to do something better. But please guide me towards that, in which case we will go over that in the next videos in this whole presentation. Also, I want to give a special shout out before we get into this one for our sponsor ByBit. They are one of the best exchanges, the best crypto native exchanges, I should add, to trade options, and not just options for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and I think Dogecoin as well, if you for whatever god awful reason you want to do that. But you can also trade traditional markets, so you can also trade commodities, you can trade everything basically. They are a great exchange. They've stood the test of time, in my opinion, at this point. And there's an affiliate link in the description below if you want to support this content. And more importantly, and relevant to you, it will actually give you many benefits, many bonuses, deposit bonuses, fee reductions, all these sort of good things, and perhaps more. All right, cool. Now that we've got that out of the way, I want to go over why buying naked options is a bad decision, generally speaking. Even when you're right on direction, very often, in fact, it's almost programmed in that naked option buyers will still lose money, even if they're right on direction. In contrast, when you're an option seller, you can actually be wrong on direction and do some things on the underlying, which will still make you money, in fact. Anyways, let's go over the next slide here, and we're going to do a general overview before we get into the the nitty-gritty of this one. So we're going to go into much more detail on these, but I want to give the three major reasons why naked option buyers are generally fucked, basically. The first is time decay, or in options parlance, we call this theta. So basically, options lose value every day, even if price doesn't move on the underlying, which, by the way, especially if price doesn't move, in fact, or, even more so if it moves against you. And of course, once you get closer and closer to expiration, that time decay accelerates, meaning that the option will lose more and more value just due to the fact that expiration is near. Remember, when you first buy an option, you're paying a premium for that. So that premium dissipates over time as you get closer and closer to expiration, especially if that option is, out of the money or barely in the money. So time is essentially working against buyers. How can you make time work for you? Well, you flip that whole equation, but we'll get to that later. Anyways, the second issue is volatility, or again, in options parlance, Vega. These are effectively Greeks is what we call them. Anyways, high volatility equates to higher options price. When you're looking at the price mechanism of an option, volatility is one of the biggest ones that creates larger premiums. So when a stock or Bitcoin or whatever is very volatile, the options for it are going to naturally be more. They're going to cost more, basically. They're going to have a higher premium. Lower volatility generally equates to cheaper options. So if you ever do want to buy options, it doesn't really make much sense to do it in high volatility regimes. It makes a lot more sense to do it in low volatility regimes. So there are right ways to do this if you absolutely have, must just buy a naked option. But here's the thing, volatility can collapse fast. And again, the closer and closer you get to expiration, that's not going to be working for you. I'll put it that way. Anyways, and then the third major facet in this is just wrong timing and overpaying for options, which is kind of, one and two combined almost here. Buying at the wrong time. Again, you're going to fuck yourself with theta. Chasing hyper earnings, basically that's, giving into volatility, highly volatile times, in which case your option is going to be massively overpriced, in which case it's going to be very, very difficult for those to overcome that in order to produce a real profit for you. And just paying too much extrinsic value. We'll go over what that means a little bit later. So you overpay for hope, not probability. And here's the thing, most beginners intuitively focus on direction. They understand, the spot underlying, they understand futures, basically long if you want it to go up, short if you want it to go down, or if you think it's going down. But options don't really work like that. If you're trading direction with options, you done goofed, basically. Here's the thing, options are a function of time, volatility, and price. The result, premiums generally expire worthless. In fact, statistically speaking, I believe it's somewhere around 70 to 80% of all options expire worthless. And of the ones that do expire with some worth, doesn't mean that you're going to make any money on that. Because remember, you paid a premium for it. So it must exceed at expiration the value must exceed at expiration what you paid for it. You might be in the money by $10, but if you paid $20 for that option, you just lost $10. Great fucking job. Anyways, go over volatility. So markets can't be predicted. Basically, volatility is direction neutral. And here's the thing, and here's what you need to know as a potential options buyer. When volatility is high, and when I say when volatility is high, you can reference a volatility indicator like the BBWP indicator, for example. It's a completely free indicator on TradingView. And when volatility is high, like you see right here, that option is going to command a significantly higher premium. And as usual with volatility, at some point it is going to come down. So if you see volatility very high, really even above like a 70 to 75 percentile on the BBWP, you're playing with fire. You are absolutely putting yourself in a hole if you are literally just naked buying a put or a call. Now, when volatility is very, very low, you get the cheapest options prices. So if you are going to play direction, then it is better to wait for one of these segments. Hey, damn, one's not popping up properly. There we go. It is better, if you absolutely must do this, to buy it when volatility is very low. Now, sometimes volatility goes low and it stays low, like you see over here, in which case those options that you buy, time is working against you, price ain't moving, you get crushed anyways. That's kind of my point. Anyways, volatility crushes options buyers. And many people know this from trying to trade earnings for stocks, in which they might be right on direction. Maybe they buy some calls and initially the stock pops up. But what happens after that? Well, volatility immediately spikes. And then soon after that, before really the next trading day even begins, it gets crushed. And so those options premiums get crushed as well. It's a very deceiving game. And when you're looking at ranges like this, good luck, basically. In my experience, you don't really want to be buying options. You want to be selling options in these sort of regimes. Now, you can make buying options work. You need to do other legs with them, which we'll go over later. But in this case, generally, selling option premium going to be a lot more lucrative than buying option premium. Anyways, volatility contraction, again, just visualize here with the BBWP. Volatility can stay very, very low for a long time. It typically doesn't stay that high for a long time. So when volatility does spike up, it's a lot easier to be a seller than a buyer. But if you are going to buy, I guess these times do make sense, but realize you will be experiencing a lot of paper cuts, which, over a long enough time can bleed an account out. Anyways, the next major issue, of course, is wrong timing and overpaying. So expensive options reduce profits. Duh. Buying just before major events, naturally volatility is going to spike up into these, and it's only going to go down afterwards. How often have you seen a big announcement, a big earnings report, a big this or that, just some major event, and then soon after that, what happens? Volatility gets crushed, and if volatility is getting crushed, your long options are getting crushed as well. Remember, volatility is a tremendously massive component of the pricing of an option. This generally happens when you're chasing hype and news. Many people know this as a very painful experience, and paying too much extrinsic value. So realistically here, we want to avoid overpaying for hope and probability. Paying extra weakens your odds of success. Duh. It probably sounds like super fucking obvious when I say it like this, but but it does need to be said. Anyways, And then time decay. Every option has an expiration date. When you buy an option, you enter into a race against time between the present and the expiration date. Sorry, I don't have like a better graphic for this one. As time decays, theta, again, that relates to time decay in options parlance, your option contract loses a set amount of value every day. And you will actually know exactly what that value is when you have a long option. It should show you on your Greeks dashboard for your options trades. So it'll look something like this. This is what it looks like on TradingView. If you do it on ByBit, it'll basically tell you before you even take the trade. But of course, when you do actually have it, you'll see it at the top right-hand side. All of these things are like pretty well documented, and it should be absolutely no surprise. In this example, minus 32.23 means that every day you are losing that amount of money just from holding this option. You're literally just losing that amount of money. And let me bring up the options over here on ByBit just so that you can see it very, very quickly. Again, they are a beautiful sponsor here. And of course, when you do have an open position, it'll show up down here, and your theta will, well, hopefully be positive, not negative, or at least if it is negative, you got something else going on too. But yes, it'll show you that value right here. Super simple stuff. All right, cool. Yes, so we've got that. We've gone over a quick example, very simple. And by the way, Vega representing volatility. There, that's where you can see it on your dashboard too. It'll be similar here on ByBit. You'll see Vega right next to Theta almost always, independent of what platform you may be on. Anyways, the brutal truth is this: why most people lose money trading, especially options. They buying options is a losing bet over time. You are literally in a race against time. Time, volatility, and price are working against you, particularly price if price is literally going the opposite way of your delta. So if you are long a call and price goes down of the underlying, you're obviously going to lose value on that option. And if you are long a put and price goes up, well, guess what? Your option value is going to go down as well. 95% of all options expire worthless. Yes, that's a stat that I was looking for. I don't know why I said 70. 95 is the correct number, which is, honestly, in my head, it sounds like really fucking high, but it actually does make a lot of sense. Almost all options do expire worthless. Keep in mind, for all of the options listed here on the bingo board, right now Bitcoin's trading at 66,500. You have strikes all the way from 67 to 75 just for tomorrow's expiration. So a 1-day expiration on an asset that, all of these are going to expire worthless, basically. All of these ones should be in the money, and vice versa for the puts as well. So yeah, it's a loser's game. I don't know if 95, it might be lower than 95, but it is very, very high. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You are probabilistically taking a losing bet, because remember, it's not just that the option has to expire in the money, because if you buy this $67,000 call strike, let's even do one that's deep in the money. $65,000 call strike right here. Let's say you buy it for 1,800. Well, guess what? You need price upon expiration tomorrow to be above 66,800. Again, it's a strike plus the premium paid. So I'm just going to say 1,800. So 66,800. It's the number that I'm trying to say, in order for you to literally break even. And then for every $1 above there, you will make $1. You can already hopefully see that if you really are bullish, you might as well just buy the straight up underline or futures. You're going to make more money. Anyways, retail behavior. This is what people intuitively do. I totally get it. I was there as well at one point. And they buy when the market's already moving. They see the hype, they see the news. They're like, oh my God, XYZ is happening. And during these times, naturally, volatility is already high. You're already fucking yourself. And retailers generally gravitate towards call options. They're just more bullish than not, I guess. 90% bought as singles, meaning that they're not doing anything alongside of it. And 99% is held short term. So again, if you are going to do that short term, you might as well just buy the fucking underline. Like, seriously. Keep in mind, your theta is going to decay so fucking fast once you're like 2 weeks away from expiration. So if you're doing those, those like 1 or 2 day to expiration options, or even like in the next week or two, you are in a massive race against time. It is very, very difficult. If you're short term like that, you're not better off doing options naked, at least. You could do other things with them for sure, but it's better to just do straight up spot or futures. Anyways, here's the professional mindset. Generally, option traders will look to sell volatility when expensive. So in our example right here, expensive volatility, sell options. That's what you should be thinking. And buy when volatility is cheap, like you see right here, for example. Keep in mind though, low volatility regimes can last a lot longer than high volatility regimes. So you do run into the issue of potentially dying by 1,000 paper cuts. Anyways, in order to do this properly, you need to understand what constitutes the value of an option so that you understand why the price is as it is. And that's exactly what we're going to do in the next slideshow. And we will go over why people misunderstand options. You know, most people focus on when price go up, sir. With options, the focus really should be is volatility mispriced? And that's kind of the point that I want to also hammer in here. Options, think volatility. Spot futures, think direction. And even with futures, actually, volatility is a component as well. In fact, just a little bit smaller. Professionals trade volatility, amateurs trade, and most accurately, yes, direction. In the next video, I'll show you why most beginners lose money buying calls and puts and what to do. And we will work our way into the heart of this whole presentation in which we go over actual strategies that I use myself that are incredibly effective. With that said, I'll leave things right there. Again, if you're interested in this playlist, consider subscribing because there will be more videos coming out with it. And also on Teachable, you can get the full playlist with all my strategies and quizzes alongside of these to really hammer in the information and validate that you've learned it. We'll end things right there. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.